Now, I wanted to ask you about your podcast because you've been dropping gems throughout the interview, but I got a chance to check out a few clips on Instagram, and y'all talk about a lot of business, and y'all give so many, you know what I'm saying, things that the average, say, young black MC don't even think about. Like you're talking about A&R and contracts and sampling and all of that. If you could tell them a little bit about that.
So the podcast, it's so funny because the podcast was something like we've had a website and a blog for a long time, and I recently updated, but we used to kind of drop articles on different things with the music industry, so forth and so on. And part of it was when we were coming up, we didn't have any help. Like we didn't have any help. We didn't have any resources. We didn't have any managers, nothing like that. Like we didn't have any help. Like it was really just us kind of learning, passing and failing on our own. So, I spoke to my partner and I said, I wanted to kind of create this platform where we can kind of give information to the artist that's coming. And I think that's part of the reason why the culture is so off base right now is because people who truly have the experience aren't sharing the information. The artists that are really successful aren't schooling the younger artists on how to get it done, and then they complain on the background how the artist is doing it. Right? They don't like what the artist is making, but you never help to guide the situation. So we decided to say, hey, we're gonna kind of create a platform where we kind of give back a little bit. Let people know what to do, what not to do. Save yourself some time. Save yourself some money. I think there's room in it for everybody. They just got to know what they're doing. So it's in this situation, we kind of created that platform. And, for the most part, it's being received pretty well. You know what I mean? Like people are, it's resonating with certain folks. It's still early, but it's something that I think is needed in the space. And then as we start to progress, it'll be a little bit more producer content because I feel like there's not a space for producers. Um, like, like this is not a space for producers. Like I just realized that I feel like there's just producers are just not getting the just due for really influencing the culture.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely, man. They got to check out that podcast because, like I say, them gems that you was dropping is just like what I'm trying to say is like just in terms of music history, you go back to like Billie Holiday and James Brown, and not specifically James Brown, but people from that era. They'll talk about how they sold so many records and they didn't make no money. But then you fast forward in the '90s, you heard certain artists and producers coming out, like even with NWA and Ruthless and Death Row, but even like within the last couple of years, Meek Mill came out like I didn't get my money, and it's just like you say, why these older artists can't just share this game so we could break the cycle? It's like we sharecropping or something. We putting in all this work and then it's time to get paid up, and they like, you in debt, you owe us. You know what I'm saying? So 5 million records.
And this is what we talk about heavy on that is that there are certain labels who have control, right? There are certain independent labels that have control. Let's take, say, Cash Money, for example. These guys have control over the contracts because they own 90% of what's going on, right? They own the masters, right? They own 90% of the situation. So the question that we would ask is, why haven't the record deals changed? Why is it the same language from 40 years ago, 30 years ago? Like you guys can change it. You can make it into something different. You got control. What happens is we're just doing what was handed down to us. They did us that way, so now this is just the way the business is. No, it's the way you make it. So that's really what we're trying to combat. Like, just combat the way that we thinking about this whole thing. It's like, okay, we're working on a book now, with regards to music publishing because we know that it's so convoluted. And it's done on purpose. It's so that people don't understand what the hell's going on, and so that you can be robbed under the table or nickel and dime through administration, right? Because you can't get paid unless you don't have this person collecting for you or that person collecting for you. So they've created the infrastructure, and they make it so that they can guarantee themselves to get paid. Because if you're not part of ASCAP, how you get your money? You don't. You know what I'm saying? Like so they've created an industry, and then they've created themselves as the gatekeeper and the administrators of it so that they can always survive. And we have to start thinking like that. We don't think like that in our business. Like, you know, we just allow them to create the infrastructure. We allow them to create the royalty structure. We allow them to create everything. And then we complaining about why we only getting X amount of royalties. Like, you don't have to give me the Spotify, but we still do it.
Yeah, it's like you signing up for it because, like they say, you get 0.00 point whatever per stream. You got 10 million streams and ain't got $1 million.
Yeah, so this is the game. But at least if you're gonna if you rocking with us on our podcast, we're gonna at least tell you how to maximize that. All right. So if you did get that many, if you did get that many streams, we're gonna make sure that you know that you need to be signed up with this one to maximize that. And even if you've maximized that, okay, how can you go out now and go get an influencer deal? How can you go out now and go get this? How can you leverage, you know, the success of your independence? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is new ground now. It's wild, wild west. So there's really no rules to this situation. It's like, so it's just all about the people who are informed enough and who know how to maximize it. So if they're out here, they know how to maximize that, they can go out here, they can go make that work.
Okay, man. We almost at the 30-minute mark, King. So I definitely want to thank you again for coming on the platform. I mean, you gave me a lot to think about, and especially the viewers too. I'm gonna have to check out more episodes of the podcast. So let them know one more time where they can find it at. What's the best way for them to view it?
You can view it YouTube, Spotify, Arkatech Beatz. You know, you just YouTube /Arkatech Beatz. Everything is on our Facebook, Arkatech Beatz, website, Arkatech Beatz, Twitter, Arkatech Beatz. So it's all uniform. So you can find all of our media and all our content there. LinkedIn, it's all there.
Oh, okay, bet. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. It's been another episode of TAYE Speaks. So until next time, family, we out. Peace.
All right, now I appreciate you.
Peace, King.